Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another album episode. I hope you all are having a very, very lovely day today. Today is a special episode because it is super close to my dad's birthday. And I know my dad's watching this right now, so happy birthday to you. This video and the past couple videos that I've done this month were specially dedicated to my dad. And if you watched last week's episode and you made it to the end of the episode, you saw that the album for today's episode is going to be this right here, Hank Williams / Hank Williams Jr. That says The Legend of Hank Williams in Song and Story. So today's episode is super special because not only is it dedicated to my dad for his birthday, but it is also showing one of my very favorite musicians, like both of these guys, Hank Williams Sr. and Hank Williams Jr. are like my favorite. Those of you that watched my question answer video from like months ago, you guys asked me what my favorite music was, and Hank Williams Jr. is one of the ones that I named. So I like music that tells a story. I like music that is written about people's life and, written from the heart. So I think that's part of why the music from these guys are my favorite. Now, the story about this album is very special. So the reason I love this album so much is because it has the song Hank by Hank Williams Jr., which is a song he wrote about his dad, Hank Williams. And if you've never listened to this music, if you like country music, like older country music, and you want to check it out, I'll put some of my favorite songs by both of them in the description, okay? If you want to check those out some other day, or, whatever you want. But the reason this is so special is because we've been looking for an album that had that song on it, because it's kind of rare. That song is kind of rare. So I looked up online, if it was on vinyl, and this is one of the only records that it's actually on. So I was gonna have to order it online. Because that's the only way, I thought I was gonna be able to get a hold of it. But very strange story. Me and my dad were looking at a record shop, and we spent like hours in there just looking through records and, trying to find rare records, trying to find good deals, stuff like that. And he found this, and we were like so surprised because this is a rare album. There was only one of them left on Amazon to get, so I'm very glad that he found it that day. And I actually got this for him for his birthday. So it is very, very special. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of this little plastic cover. Set that aside. So this up here is Hank Williams Sr. holding a guitar. And down here is baby Hank Williams Jr. holding a baby guitar. He's wearing little overalls. That is so cute. So this is a special picture of the two of them kind of playing music together and stuff. So And this album actually opens up kind of like a book and has all kinds of stuff to talk about, all kinds of pictures, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm very excited about that. But before we open it and talk about any of that stuff, I'm going to turn this over and read to you the songs that are included on this album. Okay? So I just love the front of this, how it looks. It looks so cool. Just gonna go ahead and turn it over. And right here, see this black and white photo of Hank Williams. And up here, it's just a big old paragraph, a big old chunk of words talking about this album. And in bold letters, right at the top, it says, about this recording. And it says, along with presenting some of the most loved songs by one of the true greats in country music, this recording is of special significance in presenting little-known facts about Hank Williams. Considerable research into Hank's life has revealed information heretofore unknown, including a warm generosity for helping others. All of this is presented in a special narration between songs spoken by his son, Hank Williams Jr. Also included is a seldom heard poem Hank Williams wrote to his son and a duet between father and son made possible through electronic overdubbing. This album is the result of months of detailed planning combined with care and affection in documenting the life of a man whose music and influence will never fade. So, this album is super meaningful, super special. So, I'm going to go ahead and read to you all the songs on side 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is a double edition album. You can see there's a record for this side and a record for this side over here. So there are 4 sides altogether. Okay, 4 sides. So side 1 is Lovesick Blues. Narration, I Saw the Light. Narration, Cold Cold Heart. Narration, and I'm So Lonely I Could Cry. And it does tell the length of each song. So, Lovesick Blues, it says 40 seconds. It's probably just, super short. Narration, 1 minute and 41 seconds. I Saw the Light, 2 minutes and 40 seconds long. Narration for 49 seconds. Cold Cold Heart, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And the narration is 40 seconds. I'm So Lonely I Could Cry, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So, side 1 is full of some beautiful, beautiful, memorable songs. If you like this kind of music, if you like Hank Williams, Senior, Junior, whatever, some of those songs are my very favorites, so those will definitely be included in the description. I love those. Side 2, narration for 1 minute and 33 seconds. Long Gone Lonesome Blues for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. And then narration, 42 seconds. I'll Never Get Out of the World Alive, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. The next one, Colleague. I'm not familiar with that song, but it is 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Like, I might have heard it before, but I'm not familiar with the name, like to match it up with a song in my head. So sometimes that happens. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced that one. And then after that it says narration for 1 minute and 32 seconds. And then the next one, which is the last song on side 2, is Move It On Over. And it is 2 minutes and 43 seconds long. So that is another one of my favorites. All of these are very catchy tunes, very, very good music. So, yeah, all of them are faves. They're all favorites. So, we are on side 3 now. The first thing is a narration, and it is 1 minute and 34 seconds long. And then Lovesick Blues, that's great. It was 40 seconds on side 1, but side 3 is the full one. It is 2 minutes and 56 seconds long. The narration for 1 minute and 27 seconds. Your Cheatin' Heart for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Narration for 1 minute and 14 seconds. So the last song on side 3 is Recitation, Little Bo Cephas, and that is 1 minute and 55 seconds long. And now side 4, which is the last column, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first song on side 4 is I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love With You, and that is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Narration for 1 minute and 45 seconds. May You Never Be Alone for 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And then this one says, sung by Hank Williams Sr. and Hank Williams Jr. Narration for 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And then Hank, which is like the best, it is 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and that is sung by Hank Williams Jr. So that is pretty cool. Those are all the songs that are on this album. And down here, it's the last part on this side that I need to read to you guys. It says, produced by Jim Vianu. Script written by Tom McKenty and engineered by Mort Thomason. Back cover photography by Henry Schofield. So, very nice. And I'll hold it closer just to give appreciation to the picture for a little bit, in case you're watching. And if you're not watching, just keep sitting back and relaxing. So, pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start by opening this up and showing you guys the inside of what it looks like. So, if you are watching, you can see a ton of black and white photos, like old photos of Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr. So we're gonna do some tracing over those and, spend a little bit of time looking at each photo. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to bring this a little bit closer. So some of these photos are overlapping one another, so it's kind of like a collage. I love collages. So let's look at this first one. A very cool old-fashioned photo. And Hank Williams Sr. is right in the middle. holding his guitar right there. And there's no writing on this, it's just pictures, so there's nothing really to read on this side. But when we move over here, there's going to be a ton more to read, okay? So, let's just go down the row. So this next one, you can see a picture of Hank Williams. He's on stage, singing that old-fashioned looking microphone. It's so cool. And there's Hank Williams Jr. on a horse. You can see. Here in the middle, you can see Hank Williams Sr. on stage playing his guitar and just singing. I'm noticing it's getting a little bit dark outside. That's why the lighting is a little bit dark, but I hope you don't mind. I hope it's okay. So, there's some more pictures. There's Hank Williams Jr. Here's a little picture of Hank Williams Jr. when he was younger. And here is a close-up picture of Hank Williams Sr. So, just a collage of different pictures from different times in their life and different moments captured. Now I'm going to hold this side up, and show you guys. Now here's another picture of Hank Williams right here, the top corner. So, before I started reading, I wanted to get like some type of a light on, so that way it wasn't so dark. I didn't have to read in the dark, so I'm gonna start reading this to you guys, okay? And this is quite a lot that they put into this album. You know, a lot of information, and it goes into great detail on deep stories, I'm sure. I've never read this before. This will be my first time reading to you. So, you know, I hope you enjoy, okay? Alright, the first paragraph. His career was brief and ended suddenly at the age of 29 on New Year's Day, 1953. By that time, the legendary Hank Williams has gone from a poor country boy to becoming one of the best-loved performers in country music. People who are fortunate to have known him speak with a fondness for a dear friend. Even those who only know him through his music speak with that special emotion reserved for only a few. Such is the impact of Hank Williams. Born on a farm near a little town of Georgiana, Alabama, his family was very poor, but there was music. He sang in the local church choir, and when he was 8, received a beat-up old guitar. Music became his life. The days were difficult, and Hank used to earn extra pennies by shining shoes in the local shoe shop. But by the time he was 14, Hank Williams had his own group of musicians, played the local dances, and even managed to have a regular radio show. It was from there to appearing in medicine shows, country bars, fairs, and then, the Grand Ole Opry, and stardom. He joined MGM Records in 1947, shortly after the company had been formed, and began their first signed recording artist. His early records showed evidence of a true country great. By 1949, this was further emphasized recognized with the release and tremendous success of Lovesick Blues. The song became Hank's first major hit and skyrocketed him right to the top. Between that year and 1953, Hank Williams wrote and recorded many songs, 11 of which sold at least 1 million copies each. Those are just the ones Hank recorded himself. The high figure in such a brief period doesn't take into account the numerous recordings of Hank Williams tunes by other artists. It's not possible to pinpoint one reason for the tremendous impact Hank Williams had on the world of music. His effect was the result of a combination of things. His lyrics have a special quality which speak of truth. As he performed, he established a personal rapport with his audience due to an implied connection between the feelings of the songs and his own personal experience. In his faster songs, he had the ability to create a sense of urgency and excitement. He could hit the up-tempo tunes with fervor, and then just as easily turn to the blues and tell a poignant story. Never once was the listener doubting his word. Hank Williams had his own story to tell, and he did it with a whole lot of heart and soul. Whole lot of heart and soul, it says. Following the early dues, paying years, and after the success of Lovesick Blues, he formed his own permanent group, the Drifting Cowboys, which that is talked about a lot in different songs. I know for sure the Conversation song by Hank Williams Jr., they talk about something about, I always love to listen to the stories about that drifting cowboy band. And it's like there's a lot of little things like that are not Hank Williams Sr. in their songs. So it's cool to listen to all the music and just, be able to connect them to one another. Okay, I'll reread that since I kind of went off topic there. Okay. Following the early dues, paying years, and after the success of Lovesick Blues, he formed his own permanent group, the Drifting Cowboys. This further established his musical trademark of steel guitar and fiddle, plus predominant rhythms on electric guitar. The Drifting Cowboys, or Hank Williams, sound was the forerunner of what was later to become known as the Nashville Sound. Hank Williams was an innovator, but not just for the sake of innovation. It just naturally happened. Hank Williams proved that a country and western song could enjoy popular success. The song that did it was Cold Cold Heart in 1950. It was a popular as well as country hit for Hank and later Tony Bennett. No doubt Bennett and the many others who benefited from recording a Hank Williams song recognized the universality of his lyrics and their special appeal. Few men have written so many standards in such a short career. Few men have had their songs recorded by such a vast and varied company of artists as Hank Williams. He's been recorded by everyone from Louis Armstrong and Fats Domino, to Teresa Brewer, to the Lovin' Spoonful and Buffalo Springfield. Your Cheatin' Heart alone was recorded by over 50 artists. Over 50 artists. As the 1950s opened, so did a new era in music. Until that time, major radio was dominated by the so-called popular or ballad sound. Country music and rhythm and blues were relegated to specialty stations, each with their strong and faithful following. Hank and people like Eddie Arnold and Slim Whitman were enjoying a tremendous success in their area, and other artists began to take notice. Soon crossovers in style began. A rhythm and blues man might give his version of a country tune and vice versa. Later, in his area, Elvis Presley and his merging of country and rock brought these musical marriages to the apex. In those early 50s, Hank Williams was the man in the forefront. Besides Tony Bennett, his songs provided giant hits for a number of stars. Joe Stanford, Rosemary Clooney, and Hey Good Lookin, Joe Stanford, and Frankie Lane, to name a few. Hank Williams introduced country music to a broader audience that first time around. And he did it again a decade later in the mid-60s. Musically, the time was high on folk rock, with such performers as Bob Dylan, Sonny and Cher, the Byrds, Simon and Garfunkel, and the Turtles. Some of them wrote their own music exclusively, but leaned heavily towards the country. Others recorded country. They all looked toward the songs of Hank Williams for inspiration. There's no doubt that Hank Williams writes words of acclaim, such as immortal or legendary. They're special words which should be reserved for the proper occasion. In the case of Hank Williams, there's no doubt as to their appropriateness. His influences on the world of music is immeasurable. This is known by all people and was recognized by his Nashville friends and peers who anonymously elected him into the Country Music Hall of Fame during its first year, 1961. The words on his bronze plaque are simply stated but reflect the fondness held towards this man. Hank's personal life is well known. It was full of strong love, intense moments of disappointment, and also happiness. No doubt, the fact that his son, Hank Williams Jr., is carrying on the tradition set by his father can rank high on the happiness side. Like his father, Hank Jr. began performing at the age of 14 when he made his first recording. Later, he began recording some of his father's songs, most notably in the MGM motion picture Your Cheatin' Heart, which depicted Hank Sr.'s life. People were a little wary of his son trying to take over from such a great man, but Hank Jr. has been able to dismiss their questions and proven himself on his own. This began particularly evident when audiences saw him on stage. They were able to view the performing side of Hank Williams Jr. close up. His impact is strong. He's his own man and very proud of his tradition. Together, Hank Williams and Hank Williams Jr. will never be forgotten in country music or any music. Signed, Richard Oliver. So, yeah, that was very, very well written, and I enjoyed reading that. A lot of really good stuff there. So, let's go ahead and look and see if the sleeves have anything. So, the sleeves are plain, but that's quite alright because of all the information that was included on the inside. So, this one is record number 1, so side 1 and side 2. And on side 1, you'll see there is a swirl, half is blue, half is white. And it's MGM Records. And let's see, the songs on this side are Lovesick Blues, I Saw the Light, Cold Cold Heart, and I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. All 4 beautiful songs. Very beautiful. And then side 2, which is on this side. Okay, so there are 3 songs on this next side, and those are I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You, May You Never Be Alone, and Hank. So, that is very, very neat. smells like an old library book. So did the last one. The last record I did, which was the Waylon Greatest Hits. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this on in there and take out the next one. Be very careful with it. Okay. So this one, I noticed that it has a little rip on the sleeve, but that is okay. It's actually probably gonna make some cool sounds. This is a birthday present though, so at least I have proof now. For my dad watching this, he'll know that I didn't do this. It came like this. Sorry about that. But yeah, pretty neat. This side here is the front side. So you have 4 songs on the front. Those are Long Gone, Lonesome Blues, I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive, Call Liga, and Move It On Over. And then on the other side, you have just 3 songs. And it is Lovesick Blues, Your Cheatin' Heart, and the recitation, Little Bocephus. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this back in there very carefully. Let's see. Turn it over. So yeah. That is all the information on this record. Now, I do have a little story that I would like to share. Not really about this record or anything. It's kind of like a personal family story, like a funny little story that happened. So, if you guys know, if you guys have watched my channel a lot, you know that me and my family, we like to go to yard sales. Okay, we like to go to thrift shops and yard sales and just look around. We like, it's fun. So, me and my dad and my mom, and I think a couple of my brothers might have been there. It might have just been me, my mom, and my dad. We were at this yard sale, and my dad, he has like a big beard. He has glasses, like sunglasses on, and he had his hat on. And this yard sale had all kinds of Elvis stuff. It had Elvis dolls, Elvis coasters, it had Elvis posters, it had Elvis everything that you could think of. My dad, he picked up one of the things and he was looking at it, and he was, it was Elvis stuff, so he was looking at it. And the lady that was having the yard sale, she came over to him and she was like, "Are you an Elvis impersonator?" And he looked at her and he was like, "No, I'm a Hank Williams Jr. impersonator." And she was like, "Oh, okay. He's not a Hank Williams Jr. impersonator. He just kind of played along with her joke and told her that." So now every time the subject of Elvis or Hank Williams Jr. pops up, I'll tell my dad, "I thought you were an Elvis impersonator," or "I thought you were a Hank Williams Jr. impersonator, and we laugh about it, and it's funny because I don't know why she thought he was an Elvis impersonator. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, you know, one of those like little inside jokes of stuff that happens sometimes. So I thought I would share that today. And if my dad's watching this right now, which I'm pretty sure he is, he's probably giggling about it. He's probably laughing, having a good old laugh about that. But yeah, it's a funny story. I'll probably tell that story again when I show Elvis albums or Elvis stuff. So, I noticed that the picture of this video was darker than my other album episodes because I usually make it in the daytime. I started out making this video and it was still bright outside, like it was still daytime, but it's the evening, so it's gotten dark, and I had to go and I had to turn a lamp on, so it's kind of got like a old western look, like an old, oh my gosh, sorry, it's kind of got like a yellowish tint or like a brownish tint to it, which makes it look olden, I think. But it worked out because, you know, the style of the video is, you know, western, country western, so it turned out okay. I hope that you don't mind it. But yeah, since I made this, I'm gonna go wrap it up in some wrapping paper, which I'm not sure if I'll make a video doing that or not. I might. And then I'm gonna be giving this to my dad for his birthday really soon. So I can't wait. I'm very excited. I bet he's like triple excited because I told him I was gonna make him wait to get his birthday present until his birthday, but you know, so usually at this time I would show like a little sneak peek to next week's album episode, but next week's episode is gonna be special. Like I keep saying like this one's special, this one, but they're all special, you know what I mean? But next week's episode I'm gonna have a variety of albums that I'm gonna be showing, because it's gonna be kind of like a dedication episode, kind of like I did the Sesame Street episode a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna do another kind of like that, not Sesame Street, it's gonna be different, but I'm gonna show like a variety of records, so I'm not gonna give a sneak peek because I want it to be a big surprise for you guys, okay? So, I hope that you enjoyed today. I hope that you are more relaxed now, and you know, I hope that you have sweet dreams, and you know, if you would like to check out some of Hank's music, Hank Sr. or Hank Jr., you know, tell me what you think about it. I'll put some of my favorites down in the little description